crypto warriors, changing our world day by day. The way of the crypto warriors, can't rely on the bankers, no way.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Bix Weir, roadrunner.com. I'm exhausted. This spiritual stuff is freaking exhausting. It's your morning horn disease. All right, let's do it. I went down the spiritual woo-woo path last night. Many of you might have noticed that last night at, 4 a.m. I posted the Pay Me My Silver Now song. Please go watch it. Usually YouTube bans my music and doesn't give me any views, but it looks like I've already got like 5,000 views, 4,200 views on this video. If you guys haven't heard the song yet, go listen to the song. I mean, it sums up what is happening right now is being summed up by a song I wrote over 10 years ago. And that's how long I've been in this battle. I love it. I love it. Absolutely. Okay, here's what's going on with me, and then we'll talk about what's going on with silver. If you guys haven't seen last night's show on Beyond Mystic, Jean-Claude at Beyond Mystic, with Jenny Moonstone. So here's the deal. I've been working with Jenny, right? She's a psychic beyond belief, tarot, you name it, she can do it. And she's a warrior in this battle. And that's what attracted to, I mean, obviously she's cute as hell, but what attracts people to her is she's a warrior. And she's battling for freedom no matter what the cost, no matter what, she's going to get there and do it. That's the kind of people I've been screaming about. When I battle with Dick Allgaier, he's like, oh, Bix, you can't control anything. The bad guys won this game. They're going to chip you. They're going to do everything they want. I'm saying, no, that is not true, Mr. Allgaier. There are good people on the planet. There are warriors out there who are here on planet Earth to fight for this cause. This is a galactic cause. The battle, if we can take out these bad guys, and I'm going to tell you how to do it, we can take out these bad guys, it will reverberate around the universe. That is true freedom. That people, little human beings, can take out the global elite, can take out the ETs who are after us, can take out the spiritual suppressors. If we can take them all out, that is the kind of world I want to live in. That is something that will vibrate around the world as something and give hope to civilizations for millennium to come. What is? That is the battle we're in. And Jenny's right on the front lines of the spiritual side of this. And we're hooking up on this project, and we haven't even had our first meeting yet. And I watched this video, and I'm like, holy shit, when she talks about all the Road to Ruta people have now signed up for, not all, but a lot of Road to Ruta people have signed up for readings from Jenny. She's way too busy to breathe. But they're all coming with a central theme, and she's tapped into it. I'm going to, in the private road today, I'll probably post it tomorrow, I'm going to give my take on when this shit's going to happen, how it's going to happen, and this freaking dream I had last night. Well, it wasn't a dream. I went to bed with an intention of interacting with the spiritual world last night, and it usually happens between 2 and 4. Michelle White Dove taught me that, and bang, last night, huge one. And then in this interview, they talked about silver keeping silver close to your body if you're looking to have, spiritual experiences when you're dreaming. So, Jean-Claude's like, sleep on a hell of a lot of silver. And I'm like, dude, I can't do that. That'd be uncomfortable. But I can put this silver Road to Ruta coin that a subscriber at roadtoruta.com got this coin and gave it right back to me. Made a beautiful piece of jewelry out of it. Gave it right back to me. It's been sitting on my lighting stand in my office. It's been sitting there, just waiting to be used. Last night I put it on. I got a story for you in the private road. Make sure you join the private road. Oh, by the way, today is the last day I'm giving away 100 Theta and 100 Theta Fuel. We're dropping that down to 50 because Theta Fuel is moving so fast, and it will continue to move fast, by the way. Yes, Michelle White Dove has it going to $1,000 per theta, $1,000 per token, which would obviously give you what, $100,000. So there you go. We're giving away $100,000. That's not a guarantee, by the way. But yes, data is moving. Data is being hidden on purpose. That's one of the readings I got. It is being hidden on purpose. Why? Because it's so big. The future of the internet. Imagine being in 1990, being on the ground floor of the World Wide Web. Something nobody thought, oh, what is this thing? WWW. Why is it WWW? I remember that conversation. Yes, I was there. I am that old. And I was in San Francisco and had a whole bunch of tech friends who were like, damn, Bix, you got to get in on this. I'm like, yeah, I'm a hard, at the time I was working for a company where financing big mining equipment, in my old banker job. And I'm like, I'm a hard asset guy. This computer stuff, World Wide Web, cares about three little initials. Complete lack of foresight. This is a different time, a different day. This is the Internet 2.0, decentralized internet, decentralized broadband, and oh, by the way, decentralized smart contracts as well. They figured it out. So probably be much bigger and better than Ethereum, but obviously if they're working they just announced a new protocol for video streaming that keeps the rights with like MGM or the big movie. These guys are fucking brilliant. I'm telling you right now. And nobody has this token. It's still the forgotten token. So, hey, do with it what you will. But at Road to Ruta, we're giving this out last day for 100 Theta and 100 Theta fuel. Tomorrow will be 50 Theta and 50 Theta fuel. All right. And you get to join the private road. You get the Jenny Moonstone interviews. You get the Cliff High interview. You get the Christoph Melchizedek interview. And then you get my take on what's going down right now. And it's insane. I'll tell you all about my dream in the private. All right. So yes, watch the whole thing and Jenny talks about all the silver connection. It'll blow you away, and I'm here to corroborate that she's exactly right. And I tapped into that last night, and that's why I got up at 4. I got up at actually 2. I was awake from 2 to 4 downloading information, and then at 4 I said, God, I got to put out the silver song. So that's what I did. I put out the silver song, Pay Me My Silver Now. Go check it out at Road to Ruta. And this one's getting more views than it's ever gotten. Why is that? Silver is up to $28 and moving. Let me tell you this right now. I get emails all the time. Hey, the big traders are saying they're going to dump it again. The big traders are in control. If you're a trader, if you want to trade silver, that's the kind of language you listen to. The banks are saying, oh, yeah, we're ready to dump it. I'm shorting it as it goes up, and we're going to make the dump. If you're fighting for your freedom, if you're fighting for the freedom of mankind to make an example in this whole universe, that you don't have to succumb to the criminality and the suppression of those that wish to suppress you both on the physical plane and on the spiritual plane, if you're that kind of silver warrior, you don't give a shit if they drop it. If they drop it, you buy more. This isn't a money game. This is a spiritual war. This is literally a war for our freedom. What takes out the bad guys? What can take out the deep state, the cabal, the pedophiles, all that? What gives them power? Fiat money. Control of the fiat money. Massive amounts of fiat money. What takes away that power? The destruction of the fiat system. What can do that? Silver can do that. Absolutely. You know how many billions are being lost right now in the banking cabal? Gold, yeah, they lose even more billions. Well, what happens when silver goes to 1,000, 2,000, 10,000? What happens when silver goes 1-to-1 with gold? What happens when silver goes 1-to-3 with gold, where silver's worth 3 times as much as gold is worth? Remember, the prices you see now are a fantasy. They're a complete 100% controlled fantasy, kicked into high gear when Alan Greenspan invented computer programs to rig the markets back in the 60s and 70s. Yes, it was Alan Greenspan that created our electronic financial system. Yes, I do believe Alan Greenspan was involved with Satoshi Nakamoto, if not actually the man, Satoshi Nakamoto. Do some research on who Satoshi is. Satoshi took 2 years to invent Bitcoin. When did Alan Greenspan leave the Fed? 2006. When did the Satoshi white paper come out? 2008. December. That's not the only proof I have either. Who was the best computer programmer in the world? From 1960 until, at some point, I'm sure somebody took over. But it wasn't probably till deep into his 70s or 80s. And maybe he's still the best computer programmer ever. But I do know he was in charge of our computer financial system when we went off the gold standard. And historically, you go off a gold standard, unbacked fiat money lasts 7-8 years. That's how good of a computer programmer he was. This is the end game for silver, my friends. It's not about making money. It's not. You'll never sell your silver. You'll trade your silver for other things. Maybe one day there'll be a better asset you can trade your silver for. Maybe you've been waiting to buy a house. And you're going to find, especially with the banks have stopped lending to the housing market, you're going to find a couple ounces of silver. Enough silver you can carry enough silver to buy a nice, beautiful house. Yes, silver's going over 1,000. 1,000 is a mark that one of the woo-woo guy said. That's the number he's looking for. 1,000 for one silver eagle. I think that's like not even an arm's reach away. Remember, this is rigged. These prices you see right now are from the COMEX. What is the COMEX? Futures and options market that trades in bullshit. Here it is right here yesterday. Look at that yesterday. 250,000 contracts traded hands. Times that by 5. 1.25 billion ounces traded hands. And what happened? Open interest didn't do diddly squat. Still at 134,000 contracts. What if there's a delivery demand on August 29th, I think is the day. The last day of trading is the 27th. I think the first day of delivery is the 29th, if I recall. What if there's a delivery demand of 650 million ounces of physical silver on August 29th? That's what 134,000 contracts, that's what that adds up to, right around there. 650 million. Remember, this last month, July, was the largest delivery month ever. How much? 85 million physical ounces demanded for delivery. What if September, because the open interest for the September contract is now 134,000, and don't tell me everybody's going to roll it over to December. You'd be insane to roll it over to December. You know all the shit that's going to go on between now and December? What if a bunch of people stood for delivery for 650 million ounces of physical silver on the 29th of August? I'll be talking about that also in the chat for the private road members that I'll be posting probably tomorrow. But that's where we are. This is how fake numbers are determined. Look at the past 10 days. Insane. 300,000 contracts is 1.5 billion ounces. Why not just trade 1.5 trillion ounces? When you lose the scope on, you notice I've stopped posting how much the Fed is bailing out the banks. I stopped at like 6.5 billion because you can't figure it out anymore. And it's so large that it doesn't matter. So what? $6.5 trillion they gave the banks since September, or 5.5 since September 11, 2019. What if it was 6.5 quadrillion? Would it really matter? At some point, you got to say, hey, this is all fantasy. What's the difference between $100 billion and $1 trillion? In your mind, can you conceptualize? 100 billion is a hell of a lot of dollars. $1 trillion is 10 times that, right? Or it's also 1 0 on a computer screen at the Fed. You have 100 billion, you add 1 0, you got $1 trillion. Why not add 10 zeros? nobody gives a shit. The game's over. That's why now is the time that the silver army is approaching. The silver army is here. The spiritual army that Jenny Moonstone was talking about. They're here. And you can participate. Go get yourself some physical silver. Everything else, all these contracts, useless. Unless one thing happens, which might happen. Which I'll talk about tomorrow. It's got to do with JP Morgan. Yes, the same bank that's up on 6 RICO charges. Of course, that'll never happen. That JP Morgan, the bank, gets busted. Why? Oh, because everything would go down. Maybe the silver guys want it to happen. Maybe the universe is looking for the destruction of this evil cabal. Maybe the universe has some forces coming in to align with that desire. It isn't about planet Earth. It isn't about the good guys and bad guys. This is a universal war that's been going on for a hell of a long time, and we get to live through the end of it. So if you want to sell your silver because you doubled in price, go for it. Absolutely. Go take your fiat money and buy yourself a snow cone. Me, if the price gets slammed, I'm going to buy some more like usual. I haven't fought this battle for 20 years for nothing, and this is the end game. If you're new to silver, you know what the hell I'm talking about. Lucky you. You didn't have to go through any of the pain, but I'll guarantee you, if you don't have any physical silver in your own possession, it's going to be tough. It's going to be a tough ride for you. Physical silver in your own possession. You don't have any right now, go to your local coin shop, number one. Always your local guys. Strike up a relationship. If they're closed because of COVID, call Andy Scheckman or send Andy Scheckman an email. Andy, A-N-D-Y, at milesfranklin.com, milesfranklin.com, and say, what do you got in inventory? Because I have to buy some silver. I'm way behind. I should have been buying these last 20 years like Bix told me to. Because this is the end game. This is what melts the witch. And when the witch is melted, which is the banking cabal, goodbye Rothschilds, goodbye pedophiles, goodbye deep state, goodbye everything that is bad, and hello, a new world. I hope but that's where we are. That is where we are. So I see silver's up, buck. I love it. Great. More people starting to learn about the silver manipulation that's gone on for 150 years. 150 years of price suppression in silver. The beach ball has been held underwater for 150 years. And every day it grew bigger and bigger. That beach ball grew bigger and bigger. 150 years, and now it's about to be let loose. And people tell me, Bix, you're crazy to say $10,000, $100,000 silver. You're just an idiot. Am I? I guess we'll find out soon enough, huh? So yeah, if you want to take 50% profits on your silver investment, good on you. As for me, I'm hanging on to my silver. I got 20 reasons to sell silver, and not one of them has come true yet. Go on to Road to Ruta and find my article, 20 Reasons to Sell Your Silver. All these things need to happen. There's huge short position. JP Morgan needs to be gone. They need to put in position limits on the COMEX. There has to be a global remelt because nobody knows what's tungsten and what's silver. If you have a silver 100-ounce bar, you don't know what the hell's in that bar. Unless you drilled it, scratching the surface does not work. Unless you drilled it or melted it down yourself. So while people still accept those 100-ounce bars of silver, and oh, by the way, 100-ounce bars of gold too. Gold's so fragile, I can't drill into my 10-ounce bar or my 100-ounce bar. Well, that's your fault. You don't know what's in it. My advice, well, it's don't drill it. Just put it back into the market. Get rid of it and get yourself some 1-ounce coins. But won't that hurt somebody else? Maybe. You don't even know what's in that bar. You should have taken my advice early in the early days. And if you have gold, my God, swap it for silver. If you can find it. That's how silver price goes to $100,000. You won't be able to find it. It could happen in one trade, one day. It could go from $28 to $100,000 in one day. because nobody's willing to sell their silver for any price. So stuff like this is all fake. Look at that. This is yesterday. 250,000 contracts. You add all this up, it's like 12. I did it. 12. Wait, I got my calculator out. $12 billion. 12 billion ounces of electronic silver has traded hands in the last 11, 12 days. Just rounded up to $1 billion a day. How much silver is mined every year? 800, sometimes 850 million. And we're trading 12 billion in a little over 2 weeks. I hope this is all like slapping you in the face going, what? What? No, Bix, that can't be right. It can't be right that there's 134,000 contracts still open in the September open interest. No, Bix, don't worry. Everybody's going to roll over come December. Who in their right mind would roll over come December? We are looking at the mega neutron bomb. And oh, by the way, there is a silver, what did I call it? I sent an email to Jenny like at 4 a.m. this morning saying, cursing her out for making me stay up thinking about this stuff, actually interacting with spirit on it. And her silver knights on shining armor coming in on their horses, they are there. They're coming to help us. So if you own silver, you're doing good. You're in the battle. You're in the fight for your freedom. All right, let's talk about some of the insanity. Here's Cuomo talking about screaming at people to go back home because we need the money. How many federal employees have been fired? You know, they tell us all to go home. Let's see how teachers should be fired if they don't show up for work. Who's paying people who don't go to work? You know how fast those teachers will risk it to go to work? And don't tell me, you're asking me to risk my life? What about the grocery store clerk who goes to work every day? They're risking their life. It's okay for them to risk their life and get paid less than you do, but it's not okay for you to go to work and risk your life? Take the right precautions, you won't be risking your life. Load up on vitamin C, vitamin D, chaga. Do all the things and make sure your doctor is ready to prescribe you hydroxychloroquine and Z-Pack. This is not a game anymore. Listen to what this jackass says. He's begging people to come back so he can pay employees.
I literally talk to people all day long who are now in their Hamptons house, who also lived here, or in their Hudson Valley house, or in their Connecticut weekend house. And I say, you got to come back. When are you coming back? We'll go to dinner. I'll buy you a drink. Come over, I'll cook. They're not coming back right now. And you know what else they're thinking? If I stay there, they pay a lower income tax because they don't pay the New York City surcharge.
So he's begging people, come back to New York City because we need your money. We want your money. It's insane. Everything's gone insane. And then just to prove another thing, it turns out Seattle protesters are pissed off and suing the city, the Seattle Police Department, because they had to go out and buy different kind of riot gear to protect themselves against the rubber bullets and smoke canisters that the police, who have already been neutered, are using to break up riots. What? Because the Seattle Police Department has acted above and outside the law in dispensing its unbridled force, and the city has failed to prevent the same, the government effect is to establish a de facto protest tax, reads the complaint. Individual protesters subjected to The police department's unabated and indiscriminate violence must now purchase cost-prohibitive gear to withstand munitions, even when peacefully protesting, as a condition to exercise their right of free speech and peacefully assemble. Well, clearly you're not peacefully assembling if they're pulling out the smoke and the rubber bullets. How about this? How about this, Seattle protesters? And the Seattle Police Department. No more rubber bullets. No more tear gas. Use the real thing. Use real bullets. See how fast what are they going to do? Go out and sue the Seattle Police Department and say, "Give me full armored gear. They're shooting at me." Go home, sit in your little corner. Don't turn up the heat because you might melt, you little snowflake. These are the warriors of tomorrow. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if we do go into civil war? Some of these social justice warriors coming out with their makeshift Laura Croft protection, where everybody else has got a gun. And yes, this is a real suit. I had to go check. Here's the people who filed it. Jessica, these are all Karens, by the way. Jessica Benton, Shelby Bryant, Anne Marie Kavanaugh, Alyssa Garrison, and Claire Thomas. Oh. All right, that's all I got for you. I'm exhausted. Thanks, Jenny. No, but yeah, I had a whole list of questions. I will be posting something tomorrow for the private road about what happened last night to me spiritually and the silver flood that's coming. I hope everybody understands what's going on with silver right now. I think it's $28 is not fair market value. $280 is not fair market value. $2,800, that's not fair market value. Nobody knows what fair market value is because there's no exchange on planet Earth that trades silver. The COMEX is the futures and options. What other? The LBMA is not even an exchange, and they're just the forgotten exchange now because they know it's a fraud. It's an association. They can't even call it an exchange. They set the price. They used to call it the London Fix, and now they call it something else, which is even more ridiculous. So yeah, good times to be alive. I'm gonna do a live stream today, 10 a.m. Pacific time. It's 1 o'clock Eastern time. I'm going live stream to answer your questions about what's going on with silver. All right? Be there. This is Bix. I'll talk to you.